How we doing?
Good. Yeah, Coach. Mike McFadden's effort throughout that game, particularly at the end in the third and fourth quarter, I know you've coached a lot of guys. I mean, how does that compare with some of the guys that, you've coached throughout your career just in terms of?
It's all league effort. I mean, his ability to sustain, his ability to, in the critical moment, puncture a gap, come off a block, make a play, it was pretty incredible. You look at a guy, due to injuries and things happening, playing a bunch of snaps, and his motor is the same on play 1 or play 70. And that's pretty unnatural trait. Guys get tired, guys get winded, and they, take plays off. It's hard to find a play where that dude takes a play off. So it's pretty special. It's pretty rare. And I'm really glad I got a chance to coach him.
Tom was just talking earlier about just the lack of takeaways. Basically, that was obviously a sort of significant difference between last year and this. I guess what is there that you can point to as to say is why those haven't happened at the same clip?
Yeah, I tell you, there's no less focus on them. Schematically, we talked about this before. Schematically, when you go from being a pure zone vision team, which is really what the Indiana defense was last year, pure zone vision, where everybody's looking at the quarterback dropping. There's give and take the ball. One, you see the ball thrown, so you have a chance more takeaways. But you also may give up more explosive plays, maybe get beat over the top a little bit more. When you play a little bit more man match, pattern match defense, you're on the receivers way more than you're staring at the quarterback. So we're a little bit of a mix of that scheme now where we cover guys. You saw the other night, you cover everybody, and the quarterback has no place to go with the ball because there's no holes in the zones. Where sometimes we play zone vision, you do get takeaways because you got guys looking at the ball. So I think because we're a little bit of mix, and also, quite honestly, we've missed a lot of opportunities from a standpoint of either drop ones or didn't give them a ball. So as a coach and as a program, we always stress those. That's our DNA. Obviously, we want those. We work on that on a daily basis, making those happen in practice. We just need to start seeing that realized in the game.
Coach, I know in a 29-7 game, maybe at the end it all didn't matter as much, but at the time it sure seemed like it did. When it was 10-7, Indiana got its one offensive touchdown, and then Michigan came right back with that long run and scored very quickly afterwards. How frustrating was that for you that had to happen right after a score by the offense?
Really, whenever they get in the end zone, it's frustrating. No matter when it's the first play of the game, the last play of the game, our goal is to keep them out the end zone. But also, you compound that with it being an explosive play, which one of our things is stop explosive plays that had happened on. It is really frustrating because you want to always play complementary football. The first drive, we pin them deep in the 3-yard line. We hold serve on defense, and we gain field position. We score on offense. You want to hold serve on defense and get the ball back to the offense as soon as you can. So any score for us is disappointing and frustrating, but we know the explosive play, and when it happened, makes it worse. And that's something we talk about, something that we have to do a better job of, really at the end of the day, of just doing our job and what our defense is called.
Losing both cornerbacks is devastating. Obviously, it's like losing a middle linebacker on the run. But are you having to do anything schematically different to offset that? And what can you do schematically to offset both of those guys being
Did you
out?
say both quarterbacks or corner?
Corners, I'm sorry, corners.
Corners?
DBs.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, I tell you what, I think it changes your mindset on certain D&Ds. If you have 2 All-Americans out there playing corner, you're more apt to go, let's go cover those 2 guys on the outside and do different things inside. So I do think when certain pieces of your defense aren't 100%, you do things schematically to help guys out, to change maybe a tendency, to not let one-on-one situations happen, an abundance in the game. You pick your spots more often. So I think we've done things schematically with our 2 guys being out at that position and other positions to give other guys a chance to be successful, to make the offense maybe take the ball someplace else based on the way we shift the coverage. But I do that as part of, as you lose pieces, you got to try to counteract what you would get out of that.
Almost every one of your sacks this year is from seniors or grad guys.
Say that again, every what?
Almost all of your sacks are from your seniors, or like McFadden and Ryder and so forth. Is there some young guys that kind of have that kind of potential for you down the road to kind of be that pressure?
It's just a package. On third down, we have a certain group of guys on the field. And so whoever those guys on the field, and through injury, Sangané was on the field, Reese Taylor was on the field, Tywan Mullen was on the field. Those guys were no longer playing. So on that down and distance, whoever's in the game, there's plenty of guys that have the potential to get sacks. But on third down, where abundance of our sacks come, it's going to be those 11 guys in that package. And the pieces have changed almost every game. For us, who those guys are. The constants, though, have been 10 and 47. Those guys have, I don't know how many plays they've missed really, but they've been really the constant throughout the season. But no, we have a lot of guys that have the opportunity to do that. It's just the guys that are healthy and the guys that are playing the buns of the snaps are the guys that get the opportunity right now.
I know you get real focused on the day-to-day, but from a big picture standpoint, 3/4 of the way through the season, what do you like that your defense has done, and what really disappoints you, and what can be improved over the last 3 games?
How much time you got? I love our effort. I love the fight in our guys. We have a ton of guys on defense that are checking in no matter what the score in the game is. They're checking in, whether it's the older guys or the younger guys. Everybody's trying to find a way on the field to help the cause to win the football game. And that's, as a coach, what you love about the experience, you love about the buy-in, the culture of a group of guys like that. There's no one, whether we're down 50 or up 50, no one's trying to come out the game. I'm having to literally rip guys off the field, whether they got an arm hanging, they're gassed, it doesn't matter. That's what I love about these guys. I think the thing to me that, if you say as a coach you want to do better of, would be takeaways and explosive plays. We don't want to give up explosive plays. We want guys to have to drive the length of the field. And I think when you have a lot of different pieces playing together at times, you don't have a lot of consistency in your core 11, it allows for things to happen. So for me, I just wish we could be more consistent. There's a lot of plays in that game the other night where we were in this thing, and then there was 12 plays in the game that led to 21 points. There were 58 plays in the game that led to 9 points, a takeaway, and 3 sacks. And so you want to be more consistent where you don't give up 21 points in 12 plays. You do more what you did in those 58 plays. So I think consistency would be the thing that I would want for us to get better in, that I'm maybe a little disappointed in, is our consistency. And that starts with me making sure I give our guys a chance to be consistent. But I do think the love and the buy-in and what this defense shows you down in and down out, no matter what the situation in the game, these guys come to fight and they come to play.
I think Saturday is salute. Sorry, pull this down. I think Saturday salute to service. Obviously, you have an extensive kind of military background. It seems cliche to sort of ask, what does that mean to you? But is it something where maybe more? I don't know. Do you talk about more with guys this week? Your experiences, your sort of history with it, I guess, at all.
I think with my guys, they know. We've talked about it, getting to know the process over the last year. But for me personally, whenever there's a salute to service, there's anything for veterans or guys that have served. Obviously, I have a tremendous soft spot in my heart. I make it out my way to make sure if there's a service member here, I shake his hand, thank him for his service. Because I do understand what it means to sign up. I do understand what it means to go do something for a greater cause. And I just appreciate, now that I'm not doing that, I appreciate the men and women that do that for me, for my family, for this country, and they don't want a thanks in return. So it holds a very special place in my heart. And whenever I see an opportunity, whether it be our ROTC guys before the game, I'm shaking every hand I can because I really appreciate them because I know what they've been through. Thanks, guys.